Well, of course, it's impossibile to say who would have won in an Obama-Trump showdown. It's like arguing who would win in a fight between a shark and a bear, although I would pay good money to see that. Now, based on how the election shook out, it's obvious that a lot of people did not like the direction that Obama has been steering the nation. So who's right, the president or the president-elect? Let's throw it to the party panel to break it down. Tonight, it's Fox News contributor Julie Roginski, Republican strategist and author of GOP GPS, Evan Siegfried, and Observer columnist Michael Malice. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
It's Tuesday, feels like Monday. That's so good. I'm going to say it over and over again. So I will start with you and just get your thoughts. I'm not talking about 2008 Obama, because I think he, in any climate, really was unbeatable. But 2016 Obama, who would have won between these two?
Yeah, I think the states that Trump won were states that Trump would have done well in, regardless of who his opponent was. We haven't had someone carry the White House, one party, for 3 terms than Reagan Bush for like 70 years. So, of course, Obama's going to think this because he had 2 major accomplishments, major victories that kind of were shocking in a sense. But I think Trump would have done very well against him. And let me just say one more thing. All the people who say for sure that Obama would have won, if you didn't predict the Trump victory and what did happen, you don't have a right to predict what would have happened in an alternate universe.
No, that's a good point. And that means that everyone was wrong. There were so few people that saw this coming, and it seemed like Trump supporters who predicted it were just kind of delusional and easy to write off. And the fact that they were right is confounding to pollsters and pundits and people in both parties who just didn't see it. But you say that Obama would have won.
I think he actually would have.
Because you're drinking Jesus juice.
Yes, lots of it. But I think that Obama would have won, but not by the margin he won against Mitt Romney by. What Obama was...
There's no comparison between that election and Trump and Mitt Romney.
True. But what you have is Obama wouldn't have made the mistakes that the Clinton campaign made.
Yeah.
They were putting resources into California and New York to try and run up the popular vote total when they should have been putting them into Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. And you also don't have any big email scandal that was hampering him. And the director of the FBI certainly wouldn't have dropped that big bomb on Obama 2 weeks before the election.
Yeah, but I think Obamacare tanking would have been much easier to pin on him. His foreign policy and ISIS and all of the hypocritical statements that he made in 2008 on civil liberties, on national defense, that he did a 180 on.
But if you look at his base, the Obama base, they stayed home in the Philadelphia suburbs. I think they would have come out for him.
I don't know. I think you might have actually rallied a different base on the other side and possibly bolstered Trump. And it's not because I voted for Donald Trump because I didn't vote for Donald Trump. We all know that. So why do you think, why is the president trolling Donald Trump in this way?
So first of all, the shark. It's not even a
Obviously,
question. Obviously, the shark.
It has like a 10
I don't even know why we just spent the last 5 minutes talking about anything else. Clearly, the shark.
Oh my God, I was so triggered. Yes.
It's from 2 Russians. The Russian bear
Russians, no.
Shark is like 2 tons.
Okay, but
and the shark.
Okay, but the shark's out of water and it can't breathe.
Doesn't.
They can't do that. Sharks attack animals on land sometimes.
And how do you know the bear wasn't going to be in the water? You never said that hypothetical.
Well, he could have, but then he would take his talons and he'd be out.
The shark fast, slick. No way. The shark, not even a question. Secondly, I really can't opine on this because Michael Malice, my good friend, pointed out so clearly that I was wrong about everything else, so I have no business opining whatsoever.
With love. You have to give up your turn.
I got reality so wrong that hypotheticals are something I can't even opine about. So I'll just stick to the shark.
So you're saying it's a hypothetical.
I'm saying a hypothetical. The shark would have won, and I can't talk about other hypotheticals about real people because Michael Malice completely just eviscerated me.
It's fun to chew on because we'll never know. I mean, that's why it's like.
I think we know about the shark.
I don't think anyone's ever told me as hard as Julie just told me. Ever. Like, literally.
That is saying something. Because I've seen people try to tell you.
Yeah. 2016, not anyone's year.
Well, don't expect Donald Trump to put a cork on that Twitter account anytime soon. In fact, according to incoming Press Secretary Sean Spicer, Trump's use of social media is only going to get more exciting come Inauguration Day.
I think that his use of social media in particular, you brought it up, is going to be something that's never been seen before. He has this direct pipeline to the American people where he can talk back and forth, almost 17 million people on Twitter, but combined with Facebook and Instagram, it's well over 40 million. And I think that allows him to add an element of a conversation that's never occurred.
Social media analytics. Thank you very much, Sean Spicer. But as we all know, Trump's stream of consciousness tweeting has gotten him into a little bit of trouble in the past. And as press secretary, it will be Spicer's job to clean up the mess I still like it. I think it's chaotic and unmediated, and for that, it's got worth.
Yeah, and as a Russian troll, it's my favorite thing. One of my friends has a theory, which I wouldn't put past him, that Trump inserts typos intentionally because those are the tweets that go wide and people repeat them over and over.
Like unprecedented.
Right, because think about it. You're going to have autocorrect. He's probably dictating them to someone. Why would you have all those mistakes in there? But Twitter is great. Like, thanks to Twitter, I got Roseanne Barr to get in a big argument with Deborah Messing by just goading them against. Because Roseanne is on Twitter all the time, and she's a Trump person. Deborah Messing is on time Trump's Hitler. So I said, hey, Roseanne, are you watching Deborah Messing's feed? And she went after her. And I'm like, oh, my God, I have this power now. And I promise to only use it for evil.
Yeah, but you think that he's going to start World War III with Twitter?
Well, I think, first of all, Michael's an American hero for what he's done. But we've got to, I think that Donald Trump is not trying to start World War III. I think it's actually playing into this perception of the madman, that where he can go out and take some allies or even enemies and put them off balance.
I now think there is absolutely nothing accidental about what he says or does.
Absolutely. That's my big theory.
Yeah.
And it's also been a lot of fun to watch a lot of people on the left do the pearl clutching. Oh, my God, he said this or he said that.
Yeah.
The freak out is just so fun to watch. It's perverse.
Yeah, but no one wants him off Twitter, least of all the Democrats, because A, they want fuel, and B, the press is lazy.
Can I talk about poor Sean Spicer? I've had that job where you're just like, it's all good. It's all gonna work out.
Is it bad?
I know that my boss was just caught in bed with a hooker, but it's all part of a larger plan, and it's all good. Poor Sean. Can we take a moment for poor Sean Spicer? I feel like I've had a glass here. I would raise it to poor Sean Spicer.
Already?
Who has already? He hasn't even gotten the job yet. I know, but no, he's already having to do this.
His noggin against Lincoln's Bible, and
not yet. But now he's gotten 2 jobs because the other guy couldn't take the other. Jason Miller, poor Jason. Let's raise a glass to him also.
Well, and that was raise an EPT test.
And he was brought down. And he was brought down because of Twitter as well.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Yes.
Well, sometimes you don't necessarily have to respond or resign because of Twitter. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but when some girl goes to a strip club with you and then starts congratulating you on being a baby daddy, that's not Twitter bringing it down, my friend.
Show me the baby.
That's true.
Is that so wrong? I love babies. I want to see this baby. Where's the baby? Does anyone see the baby?
You gotta see the baby. You gotta see the baby. Sorry.
All right, I'm going to see the panel in just a little bit.
I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away.
God, James Earl Jones had a temper. Carrie Fisher, the actress most of us remember as Princess Leia from Star Wars, dead today after suffering a heart attack on a plane just last week. She was only 60 years old. She first appeared in the first Star Wars movie in 1977 when she was just 19. And by her own admission, she suffered from substance abuse for most of her adult life. She released an autobiography just a few months ago, one of several memoirs she's written, where she detailed many of her highs and lows. But she will always be remembered for that role a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. The party panel is back. Julie Roginski, Evan Siegfried, and Michael Malice. You know, we talk about her as Princess Leia, and that's the person that we remember. And when we heard that she had fallen ill on that plane, you know, you think about that. You think about all those childhood memories and what she meant, but she was also an incredible writer.
She has Postcards from the Edge, which was later made into a movie. When I was a kid, I was very obsessed with zoology, and I could never watch science fiction because all the aliens just looked like people. And one of the first movies I ever saw in the theaters was that Star Trek movie, Return of the Jedi. And that
Star Wars.
That's my joke.
Use the Force.
That's the joke. And watching the biodiversity in Jabba's palace, Yak Face, Ethan Mon, Bib Fortuna, Salacious Crumb, it blew my 6-year-old mind. So that scene, when you see something as a kid, it resonates with you your entire life. So I thought she was a great actress and always known as a classy lady too.
Yeah.
And she was always a big fan to the fans, which also means a lot.
Yeah, that does mean a lot. And you know, the thing that I loved about her was her honesty. And she came from a life, like her parents were Brangelina long before Brangelina. You know, her dad, Eddie Fisher, left her mom, Debbie Reynolds, for Liz Taylor. I mean, that is just incomprehensible, the amount of celebrity, and you would think that she would be shrouded in a bubble, but she worked her entire adult life to break free from that and tell a very, very honest story of what it's like to grow up and what that means to.
Yeah, I think the really great thing about Carrie Fisher, not her body of work, was how she helped to destigmatize mental illness and substance abuse problems. You have more and more people today who feel like they can come out and say, yes, I'm bipolar or I have depression, because she came out and said, I have this, and it's okay to have that. That's a really positive thing. At the same time, I'm not entirely sure if people know the body of work, or she was the fixer for films. Yeah. She helped fix Hook. She fixed Lethal Weapon 3. She was
Wedding Singer.
Wedding Singer as well.
It's a great movie.
It's a really impressive body of work.
Yeah, that's super important. So she had this incredibly analytical mind. But back to Princess Leia.
Yeah. Back to Princess Leia.
No, but when you talk about Return of the Jedi, when she's got Jabba, by a chain around his throat and she strangles him to death, here's someone who was incredibly independent, very beautiful, very strong, stood up for herself in an emotionally complicated role, and she did it flawlessly. There are very few action heroines like Princess Leia.
So two things. One is her parents were actually Bradford because her father left her mother for Elizabeth Taylor, who was the Angelina Jolie character there. Secondly, yeah, that's a great point, that her role in Princess Leia, especially at that time, and I don't think you've really seen it much since, maybe in like Frozen, but not really, for women, was really profound, because he didn't have action heroes who were women, who were independent, who didn't need Han Solo to come in and rescue her.
She saved him.
She saved him. He was frozen, and she came and saved him along with Luke Skywalker, and so she didn't need anybody to do that for her. She kicked.
Yes.
No, but it was amazing.
Butt.
I mean, now we have Katniss Everdeen from
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, thank you. And we have, even in Brave, you have a strong heroine, but I argue that foundation was laid because...
This was in the 70s.
There were strong women, there were interesting women, but rarely, other than Bonnie and Clyde, were there strong, beautiful, unapologetically.
And she was not stereotypically beautiful in the Hollywood way. She wasn't like this complete bombshell person like even her mother was, or Elizabeth Taylor, her stepmother was. She was a very pretty woman, but not in that stereotypical way that you think a princess would be cast.
Yeah.
And she wasn't.
Which made her more accessible.
And made her accessible and awesome.
Yep. Younger men. You guys are extraordinary. Michael, Evan, and Julie. A sad, sad night, but great group of people to discuss her life and work with.